Not yet.
On now?
Yep.
Let's refresh.
There we are.
There we go. Wait for someone to join us.
Did you change your light bulb?
No.
It's a lot brighter.
These are daylight bulbs.
Yeah, so it looks like daylight.
You can touch it and it's not hot.
It's crazy.
But it gives you proper light.
Yeah.
Because some of those lights are yellowy.
Mm.
So that gives me proper light. Oh, we got someone.
Katie Barnes.
Oh yeah, Katie Barnes. Hello. I'm going to wait for a few others to join before I start. I want that one on my nail.
That's very pretty.
I think I might just put it on that one.
Yeah.
I really like that one.
So you can see.
Oh, I see.
I'll tell you anyway, but
I'd love to go and do training with Katie. It's amazing. She's amazing.
is she?
Yeah.
See, you get that and I don't.
Oh. Okay, that's okay. As long as I can see. Just waiting for a few more to join before I start.
Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Just going to wait for a few more people.
Shall I let tight?
Okay. Anyone done watercolour nail art before? Tidy's there now. How is everyone this evening? Oh, hubby's watching. Here we go.
What I'll do is I'll share it in the group.
No, don't do that, please, because we couldn't find it to share it afterwards.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh.
It came. The only one we could find was
The one
from
I
Ellie,
done.
from Ellie
Oh,
Foster
okay.
shared. So it was really hard work. Yeah, I'm relatively new to it too, Michelle. So I can show you what I know how to do, but you know, I'm no master at it. Okay. Shall I start? Shall I start and just hope somebody else joins? No, yes. Okay, I'll start. What I'll do is I'll start and people can always watch it later. Hi, Dega. Okay, so watercolour painting. So I've got two different types of watercolours with me tonight. I can't remember the name of. Oh, just tipped my water out. What are they called?
St. Petersburg.
I think it's White's paints or something. I got them from Amazon. So if you could just take a quick look. And I've also got these from my from the craft shop. Okay, I know some companies, I think Billbird, Crystal Nails, they do aquarelle paints. I haven't got any of those in yet. So I'm just going to try use these ones that I've got. Okay, I'm also using a watercolour brush. And this one's from Euro Fashion, so I bought it off Anna. Okay, and then I've just got 2 liners, just cheap ones from the art shop. So that's what I'm using so far. I've got an egg cup with water in it, and I've put some water in my palette. Okay, so we'll make a start. What one shall I do first? What one do you think?
Your favourite.
Okay, we're going to do this one first. I love this one. It's my favourite. Okay, so make sure you dip your brush in your water, make sure it's fully loaded with water. Okay, and on the training that I did, they tell you to do 1, 2, 3, 4 on your hand to take the excess off, but you still want water in your brush. That's why we don't put it on the tissue. Okay, and then I'm gonna just touch the water. Let's try. I'm just gonna wet my green up a bit. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dip just the very tip in, and then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got a little bit on the end of your brush. Okay. So got to create like a circle. Okay. You can work slightly wetter if you want to. So, and then I'm just going to dab my brush and tip in the water again, just to thin it out. I take all the water out of my brush, and then I use the dry brush to pick up the surplus.
Debbie and Tracy say hi.
Hi. Oh, something just fell. Okay.
Oh, it's Mum.
Yeah. Alright, I'd like it. I'm just going to go around the edges. So I'm just put my brush tip in that water that I've got on my palette. A little bit on the end of my brush again. So watercolours, you can leave them dark and vibrant if you want, or you can do them so they're transparent. So I just want to, okay, I'm just going to leave that like that for a minute. Okay, because this one, it's not completely transparent, so it's slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to use a pink. Okay, I've got some pink that I made up before. So, no, actually I'm going to go purple. I'm lying. I'm going purple. Okay, let's just wet them. I find with these paints, if you wet them up first before you use them, they tend to work better. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Dip it in my water and a couple of swipes on the purple. Okay, just to make sure I've got a white top on.
What brush is it that you're using again?
Euro Fashion watercolour brush. I bought it from Anna a while back. Okay, so you do sort of like an upside, like an N really. Okay, I've got a bit too much in my brush. I'm just going to take some out. And then what you do is you wiggle your brush down like that. Right, there is still slightly too much on there, so I'm drying my brush off and taking some of it out. Okay, it's gone onto my green a little bit, but we can repair that afterwards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, dip, and a little bit of purple. Okay, and I'm going to do the same again. So you're creating a shape similar to a daisy flower, because it's a form of a daisy really. We're just not doing it white. Okay, wiping my brush off to dry it, to pick up some of the excess. Okay, so I'm going to use a bit of pink. Let me just wet it up a bit. It's one that I made from my other paints. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, dip, and then there's a bit too much there, and then a bit of paint. So this paint is not as pigmented. Okay, so okay, dip, and I'm going to go see, the pink is a much paler colour than that purple. Okay, and I think I might just put another one just there. You're right. You're holding your head.
I'm rested.
Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna take some out. Okay, I'm just gonna put a bit of green on that bit that's so we hide that purple bit. Looks a bit of a mess in the picture, but in real life it doesn't really.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just going over those purple ones just to refine them a bit. And I think I'm going to go over that pink one just a little bit more. Okay, so then I'm going to use like a dark browny colour, and I'm going to use my small liner brush. Again, same principle, wet it, make sure it's thoroughly wet, take some of the surplus out on your hand, and oh, I didn't wet my paint first. I forgot to wet my paint, hang on. Otherwise, if you don't wet these ones, they don't work. Okay, and then I'm dipping in the water and picking up a bit of my paint. Okay, so I'm going to create little fine lines like eyelashes, or you know, just the little tiny ones. Okay, and try and keep your brush upright. And make sure you're doing it in the way the petal will be going. Otherwise it'll spoil the effect if the lines are going the wrong way. It won't look right. Okay. Oh, let's put a bit more water on, a bit more paint. You want just very tiny amounts. A bit more than that tiny though, eh? No, it won't. Okay. Okay, you can put as little as many as you like. It's up to you. So next I'm going to just do just my stem. You know, I could have done the flower slightly further up the nail, but never mind. You can position it wherever you want. And I'm going to use green. I'm just wetting up my paint again because it. Okay. Okay, and remember to keep, if you want really fine lines, keep your brush vertical. And you just do a little swipe like that. You could put a leaf. There is another way of doing leaves, and I'll show that on another one, but I prefer doing it this way because I just prefer it. You know, we all get shown differently. So I've cleaned my brush off and I've dipped in just some plain water, and I'm going to remove a bit. Alright, dry the brush off again. See? Okay, so we're going to top coat that. I'm using a shiny one on this one.
What one is it?
It's my Jules No Wipe top coat. Oh look, there's a bit there. Oh, never mind. See, when you put the top coat on it, it's like magic. What looked like a bit of a blurred mess comes to life.
Christina says hello.
Hi Christina. Right, I'm just gonna semi-cure that for a minute. It looks right mess there, doesn't it? Okay, so I'm going to add a highlight bit, this bit here. I might add a couple more bits, and I've got a Euro Fashion gel paint, but I've also got Anna's paints, and I've also got Alexa's paints, and yeah, any gel paint, as long as it's non-tacky really, because I'm not top coating over the top. Okay, so another liner brush that I keep specifically for gels. Okay, you want just a little bit on the end, and then I'm just going to put a highlight there. I think I might take it round a bit. That's it. And we could put just a couple of very fine lines. Sometimes adding just a bit of white really emphasises. Okay, so cure that. Wipe my brush off. Put my lid back on for a minute. Anyone got any questions? No? No questions? Okay. As I say, I am no expert. I've only just recently learnt to do some of this myself. So, you know, you see some amazing nail techs out there that do some fabulous nail art. I'm not one of those. Okay, so that's my finished one. So imagine if you had pink and purple nails with a white nail with this flower on. It would change the complete look of your nails. Okay?
Yeah. Alright,
so next I think we'll do a rose. I've done a big rose, I can do a slightly smaller one to show you. Okay, what I forgot to say at the beginning was I've put 2 coats of white and a matte top coat on my nails, okay, to work on top of. You can't work on top of shiny top coat because it just slips and slides and doesn't stick. So, matte top coat. And obviously you don't have to work on white. If you've got pastel colours and you want to use a slightly more vibrant colour on top of the pastels, that works too. But I've done white so it shows up more. Okay, so get my brush, 4 swipes, you dip it in, and I'm going to use this red. Okay, right, so most people know how to do this sort of rose. It's a very basic one that I've got here. Okay, so you create your C and the other C. Then what I do is I take the paint out of my brush, dab it in a bit of water, and then
Mum says she loves the rose.
Spread it out around so you're getting your watercolour effect, you see? The temptation to make it really pristine, like really nice and neat, is immense for me. But I have learnt that sometimes you don't have to be like that. Okay, so I carry on, just redoing my brush. And of course my never-ending shakes doesn't help. Okay, so I'm gonna do one here. Yeah, where can I do the next one? I'll do it here. Okay, take the paint out, dip in the water. There are other ways of doing this, but this is the way I find easiest. Okay. See? You're giving it that nice spread water effect. Okay, we'll do it again.
Amanda says she loves this type of effect.
I really like it too, because you get some customers, they don't like full-on nail art, so you know, you can do this as pastel as you like, and you know, I've got a few customers like that and they love it. Just going to extend that one a bit too. As I say, I'm absolutely no expert. You know, I've just recently learned this myself. I learnt with Christina. I think her course is still available. And you hear a lot of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So much so, she's now nicknamed Wiggle, Wiggle, Wiggle. So, you know, if you want to, and it's a cheap course too, online, do it in your own time. Yeah, I wasn't quite happy with that bit. She's probably looking at me and thinking, that's not how I showed her how to do it. But you know, I think you learn how to do things and then you tend to adjust it to the way that you find easiest. Okay, and I think I'm going to do one here. Excuse my shaking. Okay.
Debbie says she loves the rose.
Thank you. Looks a little messy, but you get the general gist. Do you know, when I prepare them to do, they always look really good. And then when I come on and do them and show you, they look pants.
Deborah asked what paints you're using.
I've just remembered the name. It's called White Nights. See, look, the paint's gone funny there. Yeah, it's called White Nights. I've got some from the craft shops too, but I do know other companies sell accurate, I can't pronounce it, paints, and I've yet to try those. See? I think we'll do just one more there.
It's very pretty.
Okay, you could add a leaf. So we'll just wet that again. This is the trouble with these White Night ones. You've got to keep wetting them, because if you just try and do the little bit that you're shown how to do, you don't tend to pick any paint up. But you know, I do know now-techs that love these paints. So I think it's personal preference, really. So again, do the brush, wipe on the hand, dip in your water on your palette, and then just pick up a little bit of the paint. Okay, and we could, so wiggle, 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 and lift. And then you go, wiggle, wiggle, and lift. See? I think that one could do with a bit more, so I'm just going to put a bit more on. Add a bit of water to it. Okay. Right, so then what we do, you can top coat with shiny or matte. What would you prefer, shiny or matte? Anyone? We'll go matte. I did the last one shiny. Okay, I'm just going to cure that. And get back out my white gel paint. Okay, I'm only part curing because I'm just going to add a bit of gel to it too. So we're highlighting again. and you can define your petals a bit. Like that. I put it just underneath the dark bit of the line. Excuse the shakes, but it just gives it effect too. I haven't taken my stuff today. You have to remember anyhow, flowers in the nature are not perfect. So if your lines are not totally perfect, don't worry about it. It just adds to the effect. That's what I tell my customers anyhow. And I'm just outlining the green like that. Okay, I'm going to cue that. You could add water drops to these pictures. Let me just put a bit of top coat on my palette for a minute. I think we'll do the black one next.
Just move over there.
Okay, so what you could do, so I've put a little bit of my top coat on the palette. Use your liner brush and say, for instance, put a little bubble there. We could put a little bubble here and a little bubble here, and then what it does, it creates like wet droplets on your flower. Just going to turn my paper over. Okay, so there's the things. So can you see the little droplets that I've put on? They look like little water droplets. So you could add that to any of your flowers. It's just, you know, we've done the matte top coat on that, but you know, you could put shiny. Some watercolours look better matte. Okay, so next I'm doing this one, really simple one. You can see it? Okay. Represents some kind of lily or something. Right, so I'm using like a black colour. So do your brush thing, dip and then wipe on the back of your hand, dip in the water and black. Okay, so what we're doing, let me turn it round so you can see it better. So what I do is I create a little V and then taking it to like a, I don't know what you call that, what would you call it? Like a petal shape. Okay, I'd like it a little darker in places, so I've gone back, picked up a bit more paint with a little dip of water. Okay, that's better. Okay, dipping my brush in again in the water, just the very tip, and picking up just a tiny bit of paint. And I want to do just a little bud thing, so Okay, wipe the brush and then get a little bit more water just to take some out, like that. Okay, then also with my short liner brush, dip it in the water, pick up a bit of paint, and so we're creating lilies. Have that bit in the middle there. Can you see? So I'm just going to add a bit more. Okay, happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is a really faint line down to the end. Okay, sticking with the black. Obviously you can do this in any colour. And then I'm going to bring a line down. It could do with being a bit thicker at the top. Hang on, I'll do it again. Okay. Like that. And then with the bud one, what I tend to do is I tend to cross the lines over, but follow the same. You could put a leaf or something on it, but I don't think it needs it. And I'm going to top coat. So on this one, we're not highlighting with any white gel or anything. We're just leaving it as it is. I really like this one.
Simple but effective.
Yeah, it's one of my favourites. You see, so that one didn't take any time at all. See, with watercolours, you can do them as simple as complicated as you want. Just wait for that to cure.
You do one like that.
Yeah, I was going to do those two. Okay, so if I show you, you could add dots onto it after. You could add literally anything you want to, but sometimes really plain and simple just does the trick. It doesn't have to be always really fancy, you know.
It'd even look nice on a pastel colour underneath.
Yeah, it would. It's just really lovely. You know, you get those black and white prints. It reminds me of that. So I quite like that. Okay, we're just going to do something like this next. You see? Do you want me to move the light over here? Okay. Now, another really simple one. Okay, do the same thing again with your brush. Hang on, Rosie, we could show the people. Hang on, we're just going to swing the camera around. My daughter's got one of our puppies in her hand. Have a look. What do you think of the puppy?
Hold on.
We've called her Dottie. She is super cute.
She's cuddled up to me for about half an hour before.
Super cute, ain't you, babes? Yeah.
You cutie.
You're famous. Okay, so I'm going to...
It's a calla lily.
Yes.
Yeah, Deborah said.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm going to wet this purple.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, I made it up out of those other paints. If you get a palette, you can have like a tin pencil case or something, and if you put them in there, and then you can just keep re-wetting them and using them, which is really good. That's what I do anyhow. It just saves paint, so you're not throwing it away. Okay, so we'll go with purple first. I'm going to tip up. I absolutely love that one. I think I should do something like that on my nails. Okay, so again, you're creating like either an upside down U or upside down V or an N, whichever word you want to call it. So you do that like that, and then you wiggle from side to side like that. Okay, wipe your brush and just pick up some of that paint. Okay, and then we do the same again, and I'm going to use a bit of pink this time. And it doesn't matter if they overlap, it actually adds to the effect. So we're doing our thing, and then I'm bringing that across, and then we're wiggling, wiggle wiggle. Okay, and then what other colour shall I do? We'll do a 3 different colour one.
Red. That's nice.
Red? Okay, yeah. We'll do red.
Like that one.
Yeah. Can you see the difference between the paints though?
Yes, you can. You can tell there's the purple one's a bit darker than pink.
Okay, so picking up some of my red. Okay, so you're always working towards the same point. Like that, and then we wiggle. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of that off. I'd like it a bit paler. There isn't really, I don't think, much right or wrong between it, you know. Yeah. Artists are artists, you know. It's your interpretation of that type of artwork. Okay, so next I'm going to use a green. I made up a funny colour green. It's like a dark green here. So I'm just wetting that. Put a bit on the end of my brush. Okay. And then what I tend to do is do that. So a bit more like a freesia. Does anybody know what a freesia is? Okay, and then you can bring it down. Okay, I'm just going to take some of the wet out. Okay, with the same colour, with my little finer brush.
Louise says hello.
Hi Louise, how are you? And I'm just going to do some of those really fine line eyelashy things. So there, but not. Pick a bit more up.
It's the finer details that make it.
I think so. Okay, you could add a leaf. I can put a leaf if you want. You don't always need a leaf. Or what we could do is, I know what I'll do, which sometimes adds to the picture or the paint, the nail art. So I'm going to go across, up and across, up there like that. Okay, up. You can make it up as you go along, really. Okay. Again, another really simple one. So imagine if you've got your other nails in the colours that of the flower, and then you've got this on a white nail, and it just brings it all together, and it looks really delicate. And you can do this on long nails, short nails, you can do them smaller. You know, I'm just doing them a little on the bigger side tonight so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, and I'm just going to cure that. Hi Debbie. Oh, I got some love arts. I love love arts.
Mm.
Okay, so that's those ones done. I'm going to show you a different flower this time. This one. Something slightly different. Okay, so let me show you the finished product. I'll put a photo up afterwards. So again, really pretty, really dainty. I'm sitting here thinking, do I want that one or that one on my?
It's spring.
Yeah, you can do what you like. Okay, so same technique. Wipe on your hand. Dip it in the water, just the very tip of your brush. Okay, and I'm going to pick up some paint. While I'm picking up some paint, we've got another puppy to show you.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, very tired. Hard life. Cutie.
Okay, so I'm going to create the blue one at the front at the top first. Again, same sort of principle as the last flower, but we're just doing it slightly different shape.
What's the paints called again?
Okay, so I've got white knights, but the ones I'm using are ones from my craft shop at the moment. As I said before, other companies do watercolours, aquarelle colours. Yes, it will. Okay, so you're doing it more central. Okay. And you're doing your wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. My niece thinks that's hysterical.
I don't know why. Every time you say it.
Eh?
Every time you say it.
Imagine I watched a whole course of Christina going wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I couldn't concentrate.
It was really funny. But it's a good course. Okay, so I'm going for a slightly different blue this time. I'm going to go for a darker blue. Again, you don't have to do it in these colours. You can do it in any colours you like. I'm just doing all different colours just to make it a bit more interesting. Okay. And then this one is slightly different, as in we're doing a long hook shape. Is it a hook shape? What shape would you call that?
Semicolon.
Don't know. But always working from the central point. Okay, so okay, so I'm just going to tip it back upside down again.
Michelle says, can you use watered down acrylic paint?
You know, I've not tried. It's always worth a try. It is called watercolour painting, but you know, you could always try it, but I've just never tried it. Okay, so dip my brush and I'm going back to my purple. Is there any on there? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and then what you're doing is, this one's going to be sort of overlapping, but only a little bit. And you want to go up higher. Okay, just put a little bit more in. Okay, now turn it round. And we're going to do the same again for the bottom petals. I let it dry, and then if I decide I don't like it, I'll go back to it. But if I find if you let it dry sometimes and then go back to it, you can see more what you're doing. And this is like a shadow here of the, just around the edge of the blue. So that's come out a bit darker, so I wipe my brush, dip it back in the water and take a bit off. Okie doke, I'm going back to this bit because I'm not very happy. Clean my brush, dip it, wipe it on the back of my hand. Dip it so your brush goes to a point. Dip it back in the water and I'm going back to my original blue. I'm not very happy with this little bit here. So I'm just going to go over it a little bit and take some of that off. Okay, I think I'm going to put just a bit more purple. So I've wipe my brush off because we're changing colour. Do the same thing. Okay, so I think it could do with coming out a bit here. Okay, so then with my short liner brush, I'm going to go to, I've got like a greeny browny colour. You can make this as subtle or as bright as you like. There's no, as I say, no rights or wrongs. Okay, so sometimes on flowers like this, they have little, they're like little semicolons. Okay, you see? And then we're gonna get a bit more, and from the middle do a line. Okay, and again I don't highlight this one or anything. I'm going to put shiny on. I prefer shiny top coat to matte top coat. I'm a bit different. See, I've done that quite pastely, but you could make it brighter if you wanted to. You could put a gem in the middle of it. You could do anything to jazz it up if you want to. But as I say, sometimes I prefer simples. I haven't said anything.
Exactly.
All right, I'm waiting for that to cure, and I've got another one I can work on. Okay, let's go to the next one. Just going to do a butterfly. Okay, so I think I might do blues and purples. Okay, again use the same principle with the brush. Dip, wipe on the back of your hand, dip into your water and then pick your paint up. Okay, I might as well do it on this one, haven't I? Work the other way. And so basically you're creating petals like we've done on the others, but on the slant, and we're doing butterfly wings, but they're petals really. Okay. Okay, turn it round. My daughter's dying. I think butterflies tend to look better when they're on the slant.
Looks like they're flying.
Yeah. Okay. Go to a different colour, so do the usual brush routine. And create your bottom petal. So I'm just dipped my brush in the water. That's quite vibrant, that one, isn't it? So we just take a bit of that out so it doesn't look. Okay. Let's just try and take a bit more of the paint out here. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more dark on this bottom one to match. That's it. Okay, and then go to my brown. Should we use a dark brown or a light brown?
Light one.
Should we try the light one?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, just rinsing my brush out. This one? This one? Yeah, go that one. There it is there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a brownie orange. Okay, and the little head. And the body. And then I'm going to use my liner brush.
Play fighting.
Yeah, do my little dots and bring in like that. Okay, you could add to it. So what we could do, actually I could just carry on using that brown. You could add a bit of detail to your butterfly, or you could just leave it like that, depending what sort of effect you want to get. Okay, so I think I'll like that. Okay, yeah, I think, and I think we'll go to that purple there. So I've got a bit of purple on my brush, and I'm just gonna put a couple of like that. Okay, so I think that's a bit too thick there. Let's take the paint out. So I'm just going to dip my brush in the water. And I'm going to remove some of it. See? Again, you can add embellishments. We could top coat it and add some white highlight. We could do that. So I'll do that next. You know, I'm just using any random colours. Obviously, you'd use colours that were to match your customers' sets. Okay, I'm just going to cure that. So there's the end of the last one I did. That's the finished result. This one here. For some reason, when you put the top coats on, they do come to life. I prefer shiny, but some people prefer matte. It's a personal choice. Okay, let's get my gel. All of a sudden, I'm slightly cack-handed. Okay. Should we put any dots on it? You could put some little marks if you want to. Personally, I wouldn't normally, but you know. And I think what I'm going to do is just put some very, very fine lines on the body, like that. Let me just cure that briefly. Okay, not to worry. Oh, I've come out of it.
Oh, it's half done.
Right, I've been going now. Okay. Did I top coat that?
No.
No, let me just top coat it. I've got a thing of, but it's got to be top coated.
Using matte or shiny?
I'm using shiny. If I'm given a choice, I'll always go for shiny. Some of my customers like the matte, but I'm just not overly keen. It just always, when you do it with matte, it just looks, I think it looks unfinished. But that's my personal opinion. You see, if you compare it with these look lovely, and I just think the rose looks unfinished. But again, personal preference.
As kind of like a dimension to it with...
Yeah, I just prefer it. Okay. One butterfly. You can leave it light and airy with just the watercolour, or you can add to it like that, like I've done. You know, yeah. So that's it really. I'm going to go now.
Do you want to show them?
That's what I've done tonight. I think I'm doing plastiline. Is that how you say it? Plastiline next week. Someone's asked me to do. So be the same time, 8:30 next Monday. Obviously, I'm going to. Any questions? Just comment or message me. That's fine, and I'll put photos of the finished products up on the page too. Okay. See you all next week. Thanks for joining me. Bye.